Welcome to Business Innovators Radio, featuring industry influencers and trendsetters sharing proven strategies to help you build a better life right now.
Hello and welcome to this episode of our show. This is your host, Keith Doherty. Today our special guest is top real estate broker Angie Faron of RE/MAX Ultimate Professionals based out of Plainfield, Illinois. Angie has been a full-time realtor in the Chicagoland area for 19 years. She specializes in Plainfield, Naperville, Aurora, Oswego, Joliet, Shorewood, Romeoville, and many surrounding communities in the DuPage and Kendall County area. She prides herself on her repeat and referral business, which she attributes to her exceptional level of customer service. She is continually one of the top producing agents in the area and has won many awards for RE/MAX, been named a top agent with Chicago Agent Magazine, a premier Zillow agent, and most recently was named a top agent with America's Best Real Estate Agents. All right, with all that said, Angie, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Keith. I'm happy to be here. I appreciate you having me on.
And Angie, if we could start for our listeners, what led you into real estate? Was it something that you always knew you wanted to do, or did you maybe stumble into it?
I don't think it was something that I always knew I wanted to do. We did have a family friend when I was a child who was in real estate, and I always thought it was really interesting. But my prior background was in human resources, which I really enjoyed a lot, but I did want to start a family, and commuting to the city was just a lot. And so I kind of, stumbled into it.
And can you talk a little bit about what personal attributes, traits, or qualities you think have most contributed to the success that you've had in real estate?
I think that a lot of my success has come from my prior background in human resources. I used to work with attorneys on a daily basis and a staff of secretaries, and I was able to adapt to a lot of different personality types, and I think that has benefited me in working with the public. No two clients are the same. Everybody has different needs, different agendas, and I think you have to be really versatile in recognizing that to best help your clients.
And do you think you'd give our listeners an example of when these traits have played a role in your path towards success?
Probably almost on a daily basis. Like I said, some people get really stressed out over a transaction. Some people have more of a go with the flow mentality, and you just have to adapt to each one of those circumstances. There's so many different facets that are involved in a real estate transaction, from the negotiations to the finances to the home inspection. It can definitely be one of the most stressful times in somebody's life, but what I try to do is alleviate as much of that stress as I can and take those things on so that my clients are not stressed.
And Angie, I think whenever somebody builds a successful business or a career, that sometimes the path to get there is filled with bumps in the road along the way. Can you talk about some of the adversities and trials that you've had to overcome in order to achieve your goals?
Well, I think going into the business, I had a misconception, like a lot of realtors and consumers do, that this is a very flexible job. And it is a very flexible job, but it's also a job that requires you to be available pretty much 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, holidays included. Your clients need what they need when they need it, and it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. So I think that when I was early into the business, that was a big adaptation for me, realizing that even though I might not have any appointments on a Sunday, that I still usually had to work. And it was very hard to overcome that and get used to it. But I did. I've been doing this 19 years now, and it doesn't bother me anymore, and I'm used to it. I think another challenge in the industry has been that the market is always changing. For example, when I started in the business, there was maybe none, if not little, social media. Social media and internet presence is where real estate is at today. So you have to adapt to those kinds of things and stay cutting edge and educate yourself. So that's been an adaptation in my career for sure.
And as obstacles come up for you, what keeps you going despite obstacles? Why don't you give up what your driving force?
Because I love what I do. I love helping people. I love meeting new people. I love the constant challenges. It's never, no 2 days are ever the same in this career. And I just learn from the obstacles. Whatever obstacle happens or bump in the road, it's a learning process. It helps me for the next client, and I just always try to better myself and just move forward. But any job, you have pros and cons. Every job has pros and cons, so I just try to focus on the pros and just move on.
And looking forward, what's your vision for your business and your career over the next 5 years?
My vision for the next 5 years is very optimistic as I'm continuing to grow my team and my business. We have a new website that's going to be coming out in a week or two that we're very excited about. I have a personal assistant who has a background in marketing and communications. So she helps to grow my social media base and stay in touch with my past clients. And I'm hoping to add a buyer's agent next year to grow my business even further.
And I guess kind of on top of that, what do you feel is the best way that you market yourself as a real estate professional so that you can have continual growth?
I think the best way to market yourself as a real estate agent is probably different than most realtors. I'm not constantly trying to get new business, although I do want new business. I keep my focus on my past clients. They have been loyal to me. They have been good to me. They have used me time and time again, referred me to their colleagues and their friends and their neighbors, and I'm very fortunate to have a referral-based business. So I really try to focus on that and keep that growing. But obviously, like I said, I take on new business and love meeting new people too. To promote myself to new business and to past clients, again, I think social media is a big deal right now. Staying in touch with your past clients, whether through mailings or parties or, just keeping in constant communication with them year after year.
And I think whenever the public looks at real estate agents, they don't fully understand the value they provide from both the buyer and the seller standpoint. What do you think the biggest misconception or myth people have about working with a real estate agent?
Well, I think you hit it kind of right on the head. They don't understand the value because they don't entirely understand what we do. I don't think it's not so much out of disrespect, it's just a misunderstanding. I guess I would say to anybody, no matter what you are getting done, if you're buying insurance or you're going to the doctor or almost every facet of your life, you're using a professional at some level. And everybody who is in their industry is going to be able to provide you a better level of service because that's what they do day in, day out. I sell homes. I sold homes for 19 years. So when I'm representing a buyer or a seller, they will understand every in and out, have every question answered because I do this every day. They don't. And so until they have had their first real estate transaction, they simply won't appreciate what I do or what any real estate agent does. But by the time it's over, they will. I think that a lot of people have literally said to me, well, I had no idea. Like I said earlier, it's a 24/7 job sometimes, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong, which hopefully won't go wrong. But when and if they do, you need to have the right people on your side. And people hire professional movers. You need a professional real estate agent too.
And let's say you get a call from a family member or a friend, and they're in another state, and they want to sell their home. Now, obviously, with your experience and probably with your connections, you could easily look up an agent and do a referral. But from a general advice standpoint, what advice would you give them about selecting an agent that could best serve their needs?
Well, I would probably say someone with a good amount of experience. And, everybody's new. Everybody has to start somewhere. And there are very good agents out there that are new. But again, this is one of your biggest financial investments of your life. So I think having somebody in your corner who has some experience is going to be beneficial to you. If you were going to have surgery, you wouldn't want the doctor that started last week. You'd want the surgeon that has a little bit of experience. And I think the other thing, if you're looking for a real estate agent, is their education. Are they invested in their industry and in their career? Do they take continuing education? Do they get extra designations? For example, I have my what we call ABR, Accredited Buyer Residential Specialist, my GRI, Graduate Realtor Institute designation, SFR, Short Sale and Foreclosure Residential Specialist. And I just a few weeks ago earned my CRS designation in Kentucky, which is the Council of Residential Specialists. And the value of that is I don't just have a license. I am constantly improving myself in my own industry so that I can better serve my clients. And I think that would be important to look for in any real estate agent.
Excellent. And obviously you're based out of the Plainfield, Illinois area, the general Chicagoland area. And if somebody's looking for real estate services or an agent in that specific area, what's the best way they can find out more information about you and how you can help them?
Well, they should call me. 815-351-0689 is my cell phone number, and you can reach me or text me at that number anytime. You can also go to my website and visit it, where you'll see past client testimonials, and feel free to contact me through that if that's easier for you, and that is angiefaron.com.
Excellent. Well, Angie, obviously we want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to come here today and share all your professional real estate experience with our listeners. And if you're listening and you want to learn more about Angie, like I said, you can give her a call or you can go to her website. Also below this interview, we'll have a link to her site and any other contact information we have so you can see how she can help you with your real estate needs. So with that said, everybody, until our next show, have a great day and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to Business Innovators Radio. To hear all episodes featuring leading industry influencers and trendsetters, visit us online at businessinnovatorsradio.com today.